Ah, the infamous check engine light. In some way, shape, or form, that thing pops up on your dash, you have a problem. Maybe your engine's shaking a little bit. You could have a misfire. Welcome to this AMSOIL tech tip. We're talking about misfire detection, and how are we going to prevent them? First off, how does a computer even know you have a misfire? Well, it actually has a counter. What am I saying? Well, every time that crank has a pulse, bam, it fires. Bam, it fires. Bam, it fires. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Every time it's jolting a little bit. Let's say, for example, number 3 is missing. Jolt 1, jolt 2, big old lag, 4. Jolt 1, jolt 2, big old lag, 4. It knows that lag. It can tell you have a misfire on cylinder number 3. What do you want to do about it? Well, you can run a power balance test. That's pretty cool. If you have a coil system, you can do a manual one. You just get a paper clip, stick a paper clip in there, put your ignition back together, take a test light or some way to actually ground this out. What are you doing? The electricity's lazy. It takes the path of least resistance. It's going to go here instead of to the spark plug. So if your engine starts shaking, well, guess what? That cylinder was contributing, and that's not the problem. But if you do that and there's no change, that cylinder was misfired to begin with. Better yet, let's take a look at it in action here. A power balance test, a manual one. Just put it in the coil pack wherever it is. Make sure that your car's off so you don't get shocked. Get your paper clip. Just put it in there. Make sure they're separated. And then you're going to see here, I'm just using a test light. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to send that electricity to ground. So watch the spark plug when we do that. I'll get the test light hooked up to a known good ground. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire this thing up, and we're going to get some spark going there on number 2. You see the spark up there? And then what we're going to do is cancel it. Spark goes away, spark comes back. Spark goes away, spark comes back. Every time that happens, that cylinder starts to shake or misfire. You know that cylinder's contributing. That's not the problem. Now, if you have a coil pack, well, you could just unplug it. Super easy, one for each cylinder. Now, if you had a scan tool, you can do a fancy test like this. We ran a power balance test, and what's happening here is I just disable the cylinder. You see it dropping out there on number 1, and then I put it back, it goes away. Now, interesting on this one, if you look over there on number 4, you see it's dropping out. It keeps dropping out. So we actually had a misfire on cylinder number 4. It's not a good thing, Len. Fuel's getting dumped down into the engine. That's a problem when it comes to oil.
It is, because that fuel is ending up down in the crankcase, and it's essentially thinning out the oil. So if the oil does not have the ability to deal with that and still provide protection, you could be creating some long-term wear problems in your engine. At AMSOIL, we build, reserve protection into all the products. So that something like that happens, you're covered.
Len, why not catch the problem before it happens? You may have a stuck injector. Fuel additives will do that.
Exactly. It's called preventative maintenance. Make sure you're using your fuel additives to keep that from happening in the first place. So you want to keep an injector from getting stuck, you want to use our fuel additive. We've got cleaners, we've got stabilizers, we've got all kinds of different products that will maintain that fuel system, keep the problems from happening.
Great idea. Prevent it before it happens. Well, whether you got a misfire or you just need some routine service, go to AMSOIL.com and they got you covered.